claim parliamentary privilege, and the protocol provide a way for dealing with that. So, if you go back to the Henry inquiry, it actually really had no powers to obtain information whatsoever, and that perhaps was one of the problems, but it didn't, because they had no powers, there was no question of the Speaker having to exercise any of the protocols that exist. So I think the Speaker does have quite significant powers as in his role as the administrator of the parliamentary precincts.
So surely, I'm sorry.
No, fine.
So surely, if we were thinking about how we would move forward in the case of this ever happening again, that the Speaker should be given the sole responsibility for ensuring that if information was going to be given to anybody, that would only be done with his approval. I would have thought.
What I'd like to see is a framework that makes it clear about particular sets of information, who is the owner, and then it is very clear to the parliamentary service who hold this information as an agent, who owns that information, and then it is the owner of the information who has to make decisions about whether or not it is released. So if someone is wanting to look at materials, say, about the Maori Party's policy development, well, the leader of the Maori Party owns that information. That is a matter for the leader of the Maori Party.
But I think that's we're on the same page. We've got quite elaborate MOUs and we're still working on this with police and SAS. Why wouldn't we develop a similar set of protocols around the different types of information, but leave the Speaker as the one who actually understands how this place works and has responsibility to be implementing those protocols? And I made it quite clear that I thought that Mr. Henry should have been dealing with the Speaker in the first place. And so why wouldn't we be sheeting home that responsibility there? Because I don't understand when we start talking about special statute and OIAs and things. This is about having some protocols in place, a platform in place, so that everyone understands what the processes must be, whether it's an inquiry that has huge powers or no powers.
Well, there isn't any reason why that sort of process couldn't be adopted, whereby the Speaker does establish these regimes by way of protocols. I guess the value of the Official Information Act and the Privacy Act is that they've been in place for quite a long time and they provide some very useful guidance. That could still be referred to. There's no doubt about that, about the circumstances in which information might be withheld and be passed to the Speaker. So a thing that we need to be careful about is the public perception of Parliament setting up protocols for itself, and there's been quite around the administrative information that deals with the cost of Parliament. There's been quite considerable pressure for more openness and transparency, and applying the Official Information Act to achieve that. So that's, you have to balance that.
Mr. Hipkins has a question. Can I just follow on and ask you one question arising from what you said about inquiries, because the grant yesterday said that there's a new Inquiries Act. Obviously it doesn't apply to this, but could we take across some principles from the new Inquiries Act for sort of intra-parliamentary inquiries that could be used?
Possibly, and I think there is probably a bit of conflict there with parliamentary proceedings and how where an inquiry comes up against parliamentary proceedings. So so those sorts it would be useful to resolve those issues.
Yeah, I agree. Chris?
I want to take a step back and go to a comment made relatively early on in your submission about the distinction between ministers who are part of the Lead Party government, the Prime Minister's party government, and another party government. And you argue that there needs to be a distinction between those. And I just want to understand that a little bit more, because all ministers have a parliamentary role in addition to their ministerial role. And insofar as their ministerial role is concerned, then all ministers are ministers and therefore the accountability is with the Prime Minister. But why would the Prime Minister have more say over the parliamentary side of ministers, a person who happens to be a minister's activities, because they happen to be in the same party than they would over a non?
Well, if I appear to say that, I don't actually mean that.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's one of the difficult areas, and that's where there may need to be some sorting out, and that's why I'm suggesting that a body, and possibly the Ombudsman, needs to be able to arbitrate, because you've got on the one hand, for, say, a minister like Mr. Dunn, you've got ministerial information that is subject to the OIA, then you've got party information that is not, in my view, and then you've got his own kind of representative electorate type information and quite possibly personal information, all that is held within the same system. So you've got to find a way to separate the official information, which is effectively belongs to and is subject to the OIA and is dealt with under that. And then you've got this other information, and it won't only be ministers who are outside of cabinet. It'll be ordinary ministers as well. Who will have electorate type information, and information about their constituencies and whatever, and then quite often personal information all within that. And so there needs to be a way of separating those into categories and arbitrating about.
And this one I'm trying to get to draw the distinction between this. In the case of the Prime Minister and ministers, there's official information act, and there are some clear legal kind of ownership of information issues there, which the Prime Minister clearly has some say over information held by ministers. But as the leader of the National Party or the Labour Party, the Prime Minister doesn't have legal ownership over information that their own MPs of their own party hold as parliamentarians. So
I'll make that distinction.
You would make that distinction, yeah.
Oh, sorry, you have a supplementary.
Well, I was just thinking how if it's about ministers and whether you're a part of the governing party or not, surely when you sign your warrant, you sign up to an agreement.
But only insofar as your ministerial activities are concerned, because you're still entitled. So I'm, as a Labour member of Parliament, for example, not in government, so let's take the ministerial thing out of it. I don't believe that the leader of my party has control over my information or information on my communications with constituents, for example, any more than John Key should have control over Anne Tolley's communications with her constituents.
Except that this was about a minister in the parliamentary environment. And if I got a direction from the Prime Minister, because I've signed a warrant, I would have thought that I would have been subject to the same rules as any other minister.
About your constituency information?
The real point here is the statement that the Henry report, that Henry Poe had no powers. Now that's not what David Henry said in page 2. He sets out where his powers he felt lay. And he felt that there was a power he had as ministers. And then for some obtuse reason, he decided to distinguish Mr. Dunn from that.
Absolutely.
And you're right. He'd signed the warrant. He's called everybody else. Otherwise, we're going to have to go back to Cabinet Manual and say, where's the distinction for ministers in the Cabinet Manual? It doesn't exist. So he drew a conclusion which was not justified. He was not powerless, but he thought he had no powers in this particular case.
Well, he had no powers of compulsion. Therefore, he was left with.
Well, he said nobody said he did have. He said he had powers sufficient under the State's Justice Act where ministers were concerned.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure about
Why did you draw a distinction with Mr. Dunn?
Well, I agree. You could probably have got some of this information under the Official Information Act. But beyond the Official Information Act, I don't know what powers of compulsion he had. Thanks.
Mr. Speaker, one of the things that's worried me for a long time is that we have the Prime Minister, who also happens to be a member of Parliament and a member of a political party, and we have the Speaker, who happens to be the Speaker, but he's also a member of Parliament, who has that role, and is a member of a political party, and mostly the same political party as the Prime Minister. And I worry deeply about these things. I would be telling the Prime Minister where he can go with his warrant if he came to me and said, I want to go through all your records and metadata and having a look at what you've said and who you're writing to and everything else. I would say to the Prime Minister at the time, you've lost confidence in me, Prime Minister, and I've probably lost confidence in you, we should part our ways. Now, I wouldn't suggest for 1 minute that our Prime Minister would do that, because my relationship with him was not like that. But I've worked with Prime Ministers where the relationship is stretched and is very difficult. And most long-time members of Parliament have worked with leaders where on certain issues, most of the time or some of the time, the relationship is stretched. And so the problem that I have with all of this is that I find it a bit offensive that another member of Parliament from another political party can have access to my records and to my communications. And even if it's only in my role as a cabinet minister, firstly I find it insulting and it wouldn't be happening from my perspective because the relationship's almost like reaching for the bottom drawer of a contract in a commercial sense. And so I don't know where the mischief is here, frankly. I can see the need for a protocol, and I see it set out in the House of Commons paper 70 to 29 attached here. And some very, very good things here about this. It seems to me that in this submission, the precincts of Parliament are not a haven from the law. We accept that. And if there's been a criminal offence by any member of Parliament that needs to be investigated, of course there should be access for the law administrators to have access to this sort of stuff. But I think that unless we're very careful, we're going to leave ourselves open to potential mischief. Not in this administration or this Parliament, but in future administrations in Parliament. And I've been in this House with the Prime Minister that wouldn't hesitate to access information from members of Parliament, whether on his side of the House or the other side of the House. Wouldn't hesitate. And consequently, I don't think we should overreact to this. And I think that we should have a protocol which is as simple as if there is a prima facie case for a crime to have been committed inside these precincts, either by a member of the media or a duly elected representative, and then on a warrant from the High Court, the police can come in and access what they need to establish the facts around that. But if we start sort of opening this all up to a member of Parliament having the levers of power to be able to search another member of Parliament's records, and also at the same time, let's have a little bit of a look at the other stuff associated with that member of Parliament, because it could be more interesting than the substantive matters that we're looking at, then I think we're in some trouble. And I think we can make this all very complex, and I think we should keep it very, very simple.
All right, well, look, you want to comment on that, because I thought Mary said one of the questions we can do our consideration later on.
Well, I couldn't agree more, actually. I know exactly what you're talking about, and that is part of the reason why the Parliamentary Service and the Office of the Clerk were set up, not as government departments reporting to the Speaker. It is a reaction to that very issue about confidentiality of members' information. I would agree. I think we need something simple, and where I started this from with the Standing Orders Committee about having just some simple protocols rather than applying the Official Information Act. We have some protocols. I think we need some more as information technology has developed, and we find that all the information is now contained mainly within one large system. We do, I think, need some safeguards to make sure that the different sorts of information are understood and protected. I wouldn't make it complicated.
All right, Dr. Graham and then Mr. Peters.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I suppose two questions actually that second just came up. interested in your judgment on the point of merger of the data platforms into the one system, which was explicitly rationalised on the basis of cost efficiency. And it addresses and confuses the point of constitutional principle. So what price the value of constitutional principle in the name of government or financial efficiency is the first question. And the second one is what we were speaking about more, the ownership of information, and I certainly accept the point. And then if it is clarity as to that, then the person who owns the information can determine two points. One, it begs the question of guidelines and rules governing the decision in that ownership, whether it would vary depending on who owns the information, whether it's common and rigidly common to all. Interesting thought on that. Secondly, John Banks' point, I suppose, the political dimension of the speaker, especially owning information. And I understand that the speaker has well-established protocols and rules of self-governance. But the political difficulty of giving it to one person who, as Mr. Banks says, comes from one political party and remains in that political party, notwithstanding the speaker, is an issue. We touched on it in another context, I think, with the SIS agreements and so on, whether it is not inappropriate to be able to at least require the speaker to have consultative relationship with the leader of the House and the shadow leader in making that kind of decision.
Possibly, but the speaker owns the system, but I think there needs to be protocols that establish the ownership of the information, which is a different thing. And so if there are questions about information and the ownership is clear, then the ownership is with members and parties. It's proceedings in Parliament and it's effectively with the Clerk, most of them are public anyway. Or it may be information that's owned by the Parliamentary Service or the Office of the Clerk. So if we can establish some categories, broad categories, where ownership is very clear, then it is the owner of the information who is responsible for the release or other.
I understand, but I think the only political difficulty in all of this pertains to the role of the speaker. I don't think the others are naturally clearer.
I mean, the speaker's access to the information, you have to have some trust in the speaker, I suppose, but I mean, the access really is around where there is some offence committed and a search warrant has to be executed, and that is quite a different circumstance. And the speaker's not actually doing it himself.
He always SharePoint independent counsel.
And that's what happened. The member in question was represented, and I had represented there as well to kind of protect proceedings in Parliament. So it wasn't just a
First,
about the
data platform.
Well, it wasn't my decision, and I would have gone against it, and did, because I have always been concerned about weakening that kind of separation. But there are practical implications that have to be taken into account, and I think as I gave evidence before I had an exchange with Dr. Matt Smith about this, members move from being members to ministers and back again, and it is inconvenient to have completely different systems, but it's not impossible. But that influence, particularly at the time of a change of government, that influenced the decision as well. So there's a convenience